Welcome to My First Job, the podcast. It's our first episode in 2024. And we're starting the episode with an artist, a true artist who graduated from the School of Art in Kolkata, went on to do advertising for a couple of decades, and then decided when a lot of the advertising agencies moved into the digital realm that he wanted to go back to his passion, which was art. He specializes in watercolors, and it'll be interesting to see how Rajat has defined his life and how he has changed it in the course of his career. Another interesting career journey awaits us. My name is Venugopal, and I head an agency called Ideascape, which is into branding and design. So let's bring Rajat on board and speak to him about how he got into his career and where it started. Hi, Rajat.
Hi,
Welcome to the
Venu.
show. Pleasure to
Thank
have
you.
you.
Thank you. It's my honor. First of all, I
Oh,
must
wow.
say
What is it?
thanks to you as well as uh, Ravi and
Deepa and
Deepa.
Ravi, who you worked
Yeah,
with.
because
Right, right.
we worked with. So thanks for
Okay.
getting me on this. It's a lovely platform, I
Oh,
must
it's a
say.
pleasure. It's a real pleasure. We'll start with, uh, you just told me before we started that you grew up in Jamshedpur, which is a small town, which is also a
Correct.
very clear steel city. So, when did
Absolutely.
you discover your passion for art, or when did you discover that you really liked art?
Well, that was, when I was in class 4 or 5, I think. Four. I was
Okay,
into. I used to go. I used to learn painting. Drawing, painting. I was into that, and I was very focused. One day I'll become an artist itself because I didn't go
okay,
here and there. So it is not like there are a lot of in presently I got to see there are architect turn into artist or doctor turn into artist. It's not for me. 4 5 years when I was very focused that I'll be an artist itself
okay.
by any means, and that's how it has
But it's
started.
great to have that kind of clarity early on. Is it something that, did you have a great art teacher, or was it that you simply liked the process of drawing? What happened?
Absolutely not. The Of course, my teacher, he was an awesome person. He was the same because he used to tell me that anybody can learn art except you. Okay, my
Okay,
teacher used to tell me. So lastly, when I joined in his college, he was my ex-student of the same college I have studied.
okay.
So I wanted to convey him that, sir, I have joined. So after joining the college, I came back and I wanted to tell him by the time he passed away. So he didn't know
Oh,
that I have joined in his college only.
okay,
So like that way.
okay.
And I was from the very childhood, I was very focused. My
Right.
hook have to be in this line only.
Okay. Now, what do you say? Was there anything about art that got you interested, or was it a certain kind of thing? What were your subjects? What were the things you used to draw early on?
Well, in the beginning of my art classes, the teacher used to ask me to he used to put a lot of things in front of me, like a kettle, sometimes some reference pictures, see and draw. I used to copy that, I used to do that. But while doing that, every time I used to ask my teacher, like, what is a, prospect in future? Like, doing a chicken leg, drawing a chicken leg or a bird or this, that, all fine. How I'm going to, where the money will be coming? He said, first you learn how to do this thing, later on we can think about. So there, the confusion, I was getting little, confused. Like and I didn't know what are the difference between fine arts and commercial arts. So
Okay.
that's how when I completed my schooling, I came to nearest place. As I told you that I brought up in a place called Jamshedpur. So the nearest place was Calcutta, where the art college was there.
Right.
So on that time, when I joined in my art college, people used to call me that, oh, you have stopped studying and all these things. So joining an art college was a crime.
Was supposed to be the end of studies and
Absolutely, you're a
okay.
spoiled brat. So to make them understand, it took a lot of time for me. So when I joined in my college, there are some options. Sculptures are there, commercial art is there, then the fine arts are there. So I was just wondering. I said, from where I can earn money. So there I got to know, well, applied art, which is supposed to be
Okay.
the commercial art. If you do that, so you can start earning quick money. I said, let me join there only.
Okay. So you were very
So,
clear about art and earning money from art. Both were
of
very
course,
clear.
yeah, yeah.
What
So
about your parents? You didn't have your father was okay with your parents were okay with your choice of career?
I think I'm one of the very fortunate child. My folks are so encouraging. When I joined in this particular stream, they told me, because seven to eight generation there was no artist in our mind. In my
Okay.
seven to past generation, there was no visual artist. My the entire generation into music. When I came to visual art, they said, my dad and my mom told me that if you get bounce, we are there to support. Don't worry, carry on. It was
Wow.
very rare to have this thing. Yeah,
Have that
that
kind of
support,
a
absolutely.
right. And that makes such
So
a difference to your mental you know, focus and
precisely, precisely. So
you're
that's
not
how
worried about saying that my parents don't like me doing this, I'm going up against them. And that support is
no,
there. You somehow want to succeed for them. Yeah.
exactly. Although they also didn't know how I'm going to land it up in which platform. This is okay. If it is your challenge, please go ahead, and we are there for you. If you get
Okay.
bounced, if you get stuck somewhere, we are there. So that was
We'll
a
figure things out.
huge,
Okay.
yeah. So it was a huge
Okay.
support from there.
So
And
how did your
when I,
first job in advertising
yeah,
happen? Or did you do something in between?
well, studying in, I think, fourth year, I think, yeah, in my fourth year, because 89 I passed out from Government Art College, Kolkata. So in my fourth year, someone told me there is an agency, mushroom agencies, not very named. So they are looking for some, commercial artist. I said, let me
Hmm.
join. So that was the moment I read on this branding called my first job. It was a disaster. Like, I used to get 400
Okay.
rupees for a month.
Hmm.
After the college, I used to go there, all those cutting pasting job. And I was wondering, I said, after doing my master degree in graduation, if I get to do all this shady job, I mean, I don't know how the future is going to be. It is going to, I don't think it's going to be too lighty for me anyway. So joined there. So that's how I started earning, and that was my first salary. Was my first job. My first salary was 400 bucks. After working for 30 days, we used to get that. And
Okay.
gradually, after completion of my college, the very suppose 10th was my last final examination, and 12th I took a train and went to Bombay straight away. I didn't even
Okay.
know. I told my parents, if I fail, fine. If I pass, fine. I'm not going to restudy anymore. So let me get into this. So, and I started my career from Mumbai. So there is also some mushroom agency, because it was very difficult to get a job from north. If you go to
Yeah.
Maharashtra, yeah, so east, and from going from east to Maharashtra, because initially, because
But did you
they
have
said,
someone in Bombay?
no, I didn't even see the picture of a Bombay. So I just took a
Wow.
train and went there. I I bought a ticket and just went to Mumbai.
So
And
what were
believe you
those
me,
first days like?
oh, it was like,
What is it like
while
when you come to a strange city and you don't know anyone out there? How did you decide that this is going to be the place where you work?
I knew it's going to be a disaster. Okay.
Okay.
It is going to be a very challenging area for me. So while going from Calcutta to Mumbai on a train, somehow I managed to manipulate one uncle and auntie. They used to have a house, and their veranda used to be empty. So they used to put that folding cot, and they used to take 800
Okay.
rupees per month. So I patao that person. I said, one, take this 800 bucks. One place is booked for me. So at least by the time I got down from the train, I knew
You
there was
had a
a
place to
place
stay.
stay. So that's how the journey started. And I went
Okay.
and I approached Times of India because I was good in illustration.
Right.
And another thing I must let you know, because those who are pass out from Government Art College, Calcutta, at least they, whether they get a job or not, they can do these, that, they will be good in watercolor.
Right.
That is 150%, because they
Right.
put so much pressure to the student. You have to do proper drawing and watercolor. These are the two things were must.
Right.
So I went, and I was approached to, there are publications, these, that. So lastly, I got a job in HMB. They used to make HMB seat cassette covers. So I
Right.
joined there. So I found it's not happening. First of all, it was somehow it is not happening. But well, the money I have spent from my pocket, I need to take back that money and I'll leave. So I think it took 8 to 9 months over there. And from there I came to Delhi. So
Okay,
whichever
but
the
just hold on for a moment there. What were the
yeah,
cassette covers you designed? Do you remember any of the cassette covers you did?
T series, all earlier T
Oh,
series
okay.
cassette covers
Okay.
on all bhajans. I still remember.
Okay.
All
Okay.
bhajans, yeah, although I hardly used to listen bhajan, and all the bhajan cassette
Okay.
covers, because T series are very devotional. They are into, they
Right.
started with bhajan. Nowadays they are doing all Bollywood and Hollywood, whichever
Yeah.
the music.
Everything.
But earlier, yeah, earlier they used to do all devotional music. So I used to make
Okay.
all these things. So I used to be wondering. I said, like, after completion of government art college and degree holder, by the time I got to know, I stood first class third from the West Bengal University. So it was a
Okay.
pretty healthy
Oh, that was good.
result
Okay.
which I got. So I stood third from
Another
the
thing which I
university,
want to touch base here upon, you said that anyone who passes out of an art college,
government
it's
art
4 years,
college.
right? Government art college, 4 years of really hard, you really have to put pen to paper and draw and understand art. You
Absolutely.
find that that is not a lot of people start off with art on the computer itself. Do you think that's a disadvantage? What is your point of view on that?
It is nowadays. See, nowadays the computer has come, so we are doing all digital art. Even today, if I go back to my college, and if I see the students are, they are more into digital, because they forget. See, digital is happening. It is a in thing. I do understand, but there are certain thing you one has to accept that you know the manual, which however do you do the digital, it will never match with the manual, and there the
Right,
problem started. So today's students, especially while studying, they are in a fix. They don't know where to go, because they can't draw properly and they can't do digital work properly. So now that is the challenge for them. It is a really disaster point. So I
okay,
do
okay.
go and take workshops, and I make them understand you need to be very focused, like one has to be very, very focused, like. So that's
And
why.
only then will you, right. Then
Absolutely.
how did you go from Bombay to Delhi? I cut you off at that point. You said you moved from Bombay to Delhi because you found something worked out for you?
No. See, I have taken 1,200 bucks in my pocket, so I bought a
Okay,
ticket around 136, or I don't know, maybe 200 rupees, 150 to 200 rupees, Calcutta to Mumbai. It's a general compartment. I just
right.
dump myself, and that's how I. So my focus was, unless and until I'm earning 1,200 rupees in my pocket, I will not leave the city. And the
Okay,
day after staying, fooding, and all this thing, I managed to earn that 1,200 bucks. The very next day, I took a train and came back to Delhi. Even Delhi, I was not aware of anything, let me tell you. Because
okay,
a person like me, I was in cocoon. Jamshedpur was a
okay.
cocoon for me, because I never used to step out. At times, used to come to Calcutta. That's it. All my relatives are there. So that day, so when I came to Delhi, again the same thing happened. where to, whom to, how to. And
Right.
but I must say, God is from the beginning. He was with me.
Right.
I mean, it's like a Tarzan string. I was leaving one string and holding another one. So I came and I managed to catch hold of one of my very old friend. He used to study in, his uncle used to stay in Delhi. So while coming to Delhi again, and that time not the mobile phone zamana, all dial landline and all. So after getting down from in a railway station, I catch hold of that uncle's again, that uncle chapter, and
You were
through
good
through
at persuading uncles to help you.
absolutely, somehow
Okay.
manipulate. There, I found I maybe tomorrow I can manipulate little more in the people. So and again, in Delhi, those who were staying in a top floor, it's called Barsati. All
Barsati. Yeah.
big Barsati. So the Barsati, you will get boiled like anything because the maximum temperature comes in a Barsati. So initially, I came
And
and
you'll get
jumped
as
into the
cold
boil.
as well. If it's
Yeah,
winter, you'll get the coldest as well. But tell
absolutely. That's
me, during all this time, Rajat, did you ever think of going back to Jamshedpur when things were bad?
no.
No.
No, I was no, I
Wow.
was very unless and until I'll everything get collapsed till the time. Let me try my level best. If nothing
Okay.
is happening, so then I'll go back because I was very very focused for that matter.
So how did you spend each day? What was your before you got a job? Okay, you got your you persuaded an uncle to find a place to stay. But
Yeah,
what would you do? How would you go about searching for a job?
every day first thing in the morning. Initially, see, if you go to any new city, however, that those days 400 500 bucks used to be in 1 or 2 day going, took a cab and went to the X place to Y place. Didn't even know how much is the cab guy used to cheat like anything. Okay, or if it is at
Okay.
100 rupees distance, they will ask at 250. So you have to pay because you don't know the.
Right.
So the any so very very it took within a very short time. I've churned out all my dosh.
You burnt
With
all your money off. Yeah.
absolutely. So later on, I started walking, all near whichever the small pocket. And that time, I managed to get catch hold of one of my ex student from my college. I met him in Delhi. So he just told me there is a vacancy in Clarion Advertising. So would you like to join? I said, yeah, yeah. Wherever you ask me to join, it's like a dream comes true in my hand. Yeah. Sitting in
Why
Delhi,
would you
someone is
not give
giving.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, I said, well, yes. You ask me, whomever. You tell me when do I come? He just
Okay.
fix an appointment and interview with a boss. And that's how I came. And I think his name was Suresh Sitaraman. He was the
Okay. Yeah.
national, yeah,
Suresh
yeah,
Sitaraman is well known. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. He took my interview.
Right.
So he just I was carrying my portfolio. All this portfolio means over there.
Right.
He never wanted to see the published work. He just told me, show me some of your personal work,
Unpublished
which are
work. Right.
unpublished,
Right.
which I've showed, and he says done
Okay.
to
Okay. So then
1500.
you joined and managed to find the other things, found a place to stay, found the thing. So, what was
Absolutely.
the kind of work you were doing early on?
See, those days I used to work as a finishing artist because
Okay.
in advertising there are multiple layers are there.
Right.
Junior visualizer, senior visualizer, junior art director, senior art
Right.
director, then junior creative director, then the senior creative director, which is
Right.
next to CEO level. So I was in a junior visualizer level. So all the creative director, whichever the incomplete job, they used to pass on to us. So although our job timing was 6 7 hours, but I used to work around 10 hours because they used to give us the job. I said, tomorrow morning I need to see this thing finish. I don't know how we are going to do.
Right.
So I was very focused. Like in the beginning, they will squeeze me like anything. said, okay, let me try out.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
and but somehow I was very fortunate. God was very kind to me. I was very close to Suresh. And
Okay.
Suresh found me, my progress very nicely. He
Okay.
used to care me.
Okay.
He used to take care of me, and
Right.
deliberately he used to teach me this is not right and why this is wrong, which is a very different from our education. Education was, that was a totally different ballgame altogether. It was a
Right.
rosy path as far as the education was concerned. When we came to the
Right.
practical life, so there it happened. Like after working, I think 2 years in Delhi. So in the Clarion, I got a job offer from the very next building is Times of India.
Okay.
So they offered me a double salary as a quick job. In the meanwhile, Suresh also left. Suresh
Oh,
also
okay.
left and went to Bangalore. So I was very
Okay.
upset because I wanted to be with him because I was learning a lot from him. So he left, and so I was looking for, so
A
the
change.
main guy is gone. So the other guys are used to take that advantage. You being such a
Right.
junior guy, how come you're and Suresh Sitaraman used to be the vice president. The VP is, you become so close to you. Wait, so the people used to wait. And the moment he left now, so I was looking for a job and immediately I got a job. So there it has
Okay.
started, one after the Times of India. Then after that,
So
uh,
what were you doing at Times of India? Editorial art? Was
illustration.
it
No, I was in illustrator.
illustrations?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So
There's a,
you used to
there's
get
a,
a story, or you would get a certain news report or something, and you would
no,
draw for that or for a feature?
no, there's a thing called Saturday Times. Times of India, they
Okay.
used to come up with a color supplement called Saturday Times. There used to be
Okay.
multiple illustrations. So I used to do that. And they used to give me the manuscript. After reading the manuscript, I used to, visualize that, and I used to do that.
Right.
Although I never wanted to become an illustrator, so gradually I could see that I am ultimately going towards the illustrator only. I do not
Right.
want, which I do not want to. So
Okay.
so again, some other city, like from there, I have hopped here and there many times. So I went to,
Okay.
suddenly I got to know from Guwahati, which is another chapter. So they got to
Yeah.
know, one guy came, published, and they saw my work in illustrations. So that there's an agency. So the agency owner called me and he's just say triple of the salary, which is not more than 6,000. But those days, 6,000 was
Yeah.
today's, it's as compared to much,
Yeah. It's a lot more.
a
Right.
lot more. I said, I'm game.
So you
You tell
went
me.
from Delhi to Guwahati. You
Absolutely.
Yeah, by now I think I should be fairly clear that you're not worried about finding a new place or getting a new uncle to fund the next level of your.
My uncle chapter was over by the time, let me tell you. Because
You didn't
nowadays,
need uncles anymore.
yeah, so it
Yeah.
was no more uncle required. So there the agency guy called me and he just gave me, he just told me that there will be an x amount of salary as well as your lodging will be free. I said, what else I can expect? So I was like, I jumped there, I stayed there, I think for a year. But there was
Okay.
unfortunate incident took place, that alpha problem was going on
Right.
in Guwahati, in Assam.
Oh, during
So
that time.
because during that time, so that time the non-Assamese, they in Assam, non-Assamese were not welcome. So I had to
Okay.
quit. My boss came and told me that this is the high time.
Oh,
You
okay.
run. You
Okay.
just bhago yahan se. Just asked me to
Wow.
get
It was
lost.
that bad. Oh,
It
okay.
was that bad.
Okay.
Yeah. So I came from there, and by the time I have saved good amount of money because there Guwahati is a small city. There's no. I used to sit
There's
at
nothing to
home and
spend
pay
on really.
nothing
Yeah.
to spend. Yeah, so I
Ah,
have earned a good amount of money, saved.
okay. Right.
So from Guwahati again, I came back to Delhi, and while coming back to Delhi, I was just thinking that I heard a lot of film stars used to stay in Bangalore. So why not me? Let me just go and
Okay.
believe in me. That was the first time I bought a plane ticket. So
Okay.
When I got down in Bangalore airport, from airport to, I'm talking about those old airport. Nowadays, it's a different
Right.
airport.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Domlur.
yeah, Damlur,
Ah,
absolutely. While
yeah.
crossing the Damlur, I found that's a very interesting looking building. So I was asking the
Okay.
taxi driver, "What is this?" He says, "This is an ad agency." I said, "What ad
Okay.
agency?" So he says, "That I don't know, but this is an ad agency." I said, "From this
Was this
agency and that."
MA Mademoiselle?
There you go.
Ah, it was the only
Yeah,
glass fronted structure. Right.
absolutely. It was like a washing machine,
Okay.
front loaded washing machine. I hope Bunty and Sadika is going to
I'm,
kill me.
I'm quite sure that Bunty Pierboy would not like his creation to be called a
but
washing machine, but okay.
but
Yeah, I get the connection. Okay.
yeah, but it was
Okay.
one of a kind building on those days in Bangalore.
Yeah,
Let me
it
tell you,
was it
because
was
it was,
very distinctive.
yeah.
Okay.
So I came and I was putting up in MG Road. I just dumped my luggage and immediately told that taxi wala to take me back to that agency. So
You don't waste
I
time, right? You never.
not at all, not at all.
Okay.
Excuse me. When I came back, he just dropped me in
Uh,
the gate and he went off. So I
okay.
went to the reception and I straight away I asked who is the creative director over here,
Okay.
and see how God helped me. He said there's a gentleman called Suresh Sitaraman. I said, oh my God,
Wow.
look at, I mean, I was so fortunate. So I said, please,
This is like one
please,
of those long lost
absolutely.
friends that you meet.
So I
Okay.
told reception, but she says you need to have an appointment. I said, I'm not going to meet him. You just tell him that there's a guy called Rajat from Delhi. He's
Okay.
in reception. So she called and told him, he said, where is he asking to come immediately? So I went up and he said, when can you join me? So, so you can imagine. I mean, it was so, I just told him that I just landed up. I mean, I'm not opened my suitcase over. He said, can you join me within 5 days? Fine, because there's a job. I said, done deal. And the very next day, I flew back. I took my luggages. On those days, hardly luggage. One bedding was there.
Yeah.
So I went
Finding
there.
anything was not a, yeah. Whatever you're
Absolutely.
carrying in two suitcases was your world. So that was
That is
literally where you
precise.
could. Okay.
So, and
But
I
what I
stayed there
find,
for a couple of
Rajat, is
years.
that your ability to take decisions and just move on the spur of the moment is
A-
something that, people look for security, they look for this thing, which is quite refreshing that you never looked at any of these things when you were, you know,
Absolutely. I mean,
transitioning from one job to the next.
but somehow
Okay.
I was confident about my wrist. I know my job. I was confident about my work. So that is one thing I had. Although money was now nothing is there. As far the works
Okay.
are concerned, I was very confident that if you give me the job, I will make you over satisfied. That much I can. I mean,
Right.
I'm not boasting myself, but somehow I know. And I used to be in another plus point was of mine was quick. I used to be
Hmm.
extremely quick. If you do one job, that job in 1 hour, I'll do it in 20 minutes.
Okay.
So in advertising, that is the key point.
That's
You know,
yeah, that's an ace.
the moment you
Especially
ask,
in the, yeah,
yeah, when you ask anybody, any client, when is the deadline?
right.
Yesterday was the deadline. That's the norm. And for me, I mean, that suits me like anything. That's how
Okay.
it clicked. And I
Okay.
lived there for 5 years, I guess. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
That for
yeah,
you was the longest stretch of all, I think. I mean, it's
absolutely.
like, yeah.
Absolutely. So,
All the other places, 3 months, 4 months, 1 year. I
yeah,
reach
yeah,
1,200 rupees, I'll move. And then
absolutely.
this is really strange going from Delhi to Guwahati and then
Yeah.
coming to Bangalore and then figuring out that Suresh Sitharaman is working in precisely the same place.
See,
Amazing.
this is
So 5 years
amazing.
later, what happened?
Bunty and Sadika, because in the meanwhile, I was doing good job for them. I must say, because they were pretty happy with me.
Right.
And they used to send me all deputation. I came to Chennai. I lived Chennai for a month and a half, I think month and a half or 2 months in Vayanti Mala Wali ji's house. Because she has two
Oh,
houses. One house she stays, The other house she has given rent for Mabuzel. So
Okay.
we went there. I went there because there was a crisis. So Bunty, my boss used to be Sadika. By the way, in the meanwhile, Suresh again left and well, he's gone to US or somewhere. So I didn't dare to do that. So, but
Okay.
Sadika was certainly taking care of me. So
Okay.
I stayed back. So Sadika used to send me, Coimbatore, Chennai, and all these places wherever the crunch was there. So you go and take care of. We are there. So battlefield sort of thing.
Oh,
So
amazing. So you were the
exactly,
troubleshooter, the man who will come in and
Ab-
swoop in and finish something off and make the client
absolutely
happy and come back. Wow. Okay.
right. And that's how I came. I landed up in Delhi because there is a whiskey product called Jagjit Industries Limited. They were
Okay.
producing, yeah, aristocrat premium whiskey. They launched, and
Okay.
somehow the first campaign got bombed by the agency,
Okay.
and that was a bread and butter account for Mabusai. So
Okay.
Sadika just told me, "You go and take care of this thing." So once I
Okay.
came back the third time to Delhi, and that time, Delhi people were not leaving me. I said, I have to go back to Bangalore because I was quite acquainted with this, weather, trains, everything was fine.
Okay.
But they said, no, you can't leave. I said, if you can't leave, it means I'm going to go and then I quit. In the meanwhile,
Okay.
I have, somehow I've grown my wings. I started knowing people.
Right.
So, so I
And
then
then
I quit.
from there you went abroad, or did you work somewhere else in between?
Yeah, in between, there's a agency called Percept Advertising. So I was there.
Right.
Then Everest Advertising, I was there. There are multiple, 2 years, 3 years, something like that. Job hopping here and there. So I was
Okay.
doing all these things. In the meanwhile, I think that Everest was the agency. From there, I was good, as I told you, that good in illustration and all this thing. So I got a job from Muscat. So
Okay.
Bhavan Automotive Company.
Right.
So there I met Ravi over there.
Ravi and Deepa.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and we used to stay
How
in a
long
very,
were you in Muscat?
I think I stayed 2 to 4 years.
4 years you were there in Muscat.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I came back from Muscat somehow. Living style in Middle East, it's like a drug. They will make you happy, like, they will give you so much of luxury and all this thing. After coming back, you don't feel like sitting here. You want to go back. So precisely that's what I did. Sorry, when I came back, I went to Dubai.
Okay.
After coming from, yeah, so Dubai, another 7 or 8 months, they were not giving me the. In the meanwhile, I got married and I got a baby, my son born. So they were not giving me
Okay.
the family visa.
Oh,
So twice I've been there. Then I've been to yeah, Dubai, Muscat, Bahrain also. Then
okay.
finally I came and I said, enough of this thing. I have to settle in Delhi, India only. And
Okay.
then I started facing a lot of problem in advertising. By the time, the advertising scenario has totally changed, totally changed. The the owner of the client will sit next to you and they will do the backseat driving. They will ask you, they will put the specs here and they'll increase the size of the logo, decrease the color, this, that. I said, hang on. I mean, I have done my graduation and master degree on this thing, and you
Right.
started feeding me like an. So one day, one builders, I believe he's. I'm not going to take the name of the
Right.
builder. Is a
Right.
very eminent builder in Delhi. So
Okay.
the owner of the builder came, sat next to me, and he was forcing me to do something. So I said, just a second, shift control A and delete. And I got up and came back. The shift control because you can't even get that thing from a trash. Also.
So you literally blacked out the canvas altogether.
Absolutely, whatever the bigger. And by the time I was the creative director, so there were
Okay.
people under me. So I just told them, "Sayonara, be God kind to you guys like me," and I left. So then I decided within one month,
When was this, Rajat? Which year was this?
2011.
Okay. So that was about 12 years ago.
Exactly.
And
So I
by
came
then,
back.
there was a lot of advertising which was growing. Digital things had changed, like you said, a whole lot of changes in the industry. So
Yeah,
you
but that
again
time
decided to take,
did
yeah,
2011 digital was not grabbed that much the way today it is.
okay,
It was
okay,
gradually coming. It was coming.
right,
Although I was acquainted with that. It's not, see, the person working in Bangalore. I mean, they will make you, must Swiss knife.
yeah,
You need to do this, that, everything. So I was
yeah,
quite acquainted with that. So it is not the digital. I am scared of this. I got pissed off with this attitude of changing the attitude. The client started dictating, which
dictating
was
what
not,
should be done.
yeah. So which was somehow I couldn't take it. And I came
Okay,
back and I told my family, and they're supportive enough, I must say. Without their help, I couldn't have done this thing. So I just told them that tomorrow onwards, I'll be earning 0 paisa per month.
okay,
So this is okay, done. I mean, like, my wife, she's extremely supportive for the matter.
okay,
And even I asked, my son was very small that time. He is 2000 born.
right,
Yeah, he's a millennium baby. So I asked him also, will you be? He said, done. So I quit. And I got into this because that's now, once I quit, now I have only one other option. I can't even bake properly. I only know how to do the watercolor and the sketch. I said, let me get into this thing. And in the beginning, I did what I found. One thing I must tell you, because there are few trillion artists at this moment, million artists at this moment across the globe,
right,
and especially in India. You can be a very good artist, but here initially I used to think like, I wasted my 2 decades of advertising. I wish I could have joined in this art before. But believe you me, it helped me a lot, because there are a lot of artists at this moment, but they produce good painting. They do very good job, but they don't know how to sell the product.
right.
So there my advertising thing helped me a lot, because
Really helped you. Yeah,
yeah. So it is like I am the product. Rajat is the product. It's not a human being or something like that. So how
okay.
I that day I because 2011 I quit and I joined this thing. So 11, 12 was a very smooth running
Tough
year.
time.
Yeah, no, that was a smooth. 13 onwards I was going down,
Okay,
because no one knew me, neither I didn't know anybody. So, and everywhere pro bono, I did a lot of pro bono job also. I've gifted, some CEO category low presented painting. So they took and they went off. They didn't utter a
okay.
word. So then I found there is something wrong happening, because then I started doing the dipstick study, and I found India is not the market. I am doing absolutely, because suppose you are selling biryani, okay, in Chinese area. Throughout the day, you will stand and you can't not even
Nobody
earn
is going
one
to
paisa.
buy from you.
Exactly. So I
Okay,
said, okay, let me change my strategy. So that's how I took myself from here to Europe. That time Europe was booming. So 2015 onwards, I went, and it is in Hindi. There is a proverb called "Jungle mein mor nacha dekha kon." The peacock, if he dances in
yeah.
the jungle, no one knows.
Nobody
The peacock,
watches.
yeah, exactly. So the peacock has to dance in front of you, and
Yeah.
precisely that's what I did. Well, that time even I was empty. In fact, my wife, she spent good amount of money on me. She said I used to go spend money from my pocket, and
But
if
how
you
would
do,
you know? How did you decide which part of Europe? What kind of research did you do, or did you just take your chances again?
no, here I did my dipstick, as I said, dipstick study, because I was gone through.
Right.
I was doing study in which country, which are the medium, how which are the type of work they want. So this is how it happened. And I did the study, and I found that time, as I said, Europe was booming. So I landed up there. so,
Okay.
and well, I was very again fortunate, because they found me my work. and they found me as a person as well as work. Was very much welcomed there, and that's how the very next year I got, because the world biggest watercolor exhibition is happening in there's a place called Fabriano, which is I think 2.5 hours away from Rome.
Okay.
So they gave me an ownership. So they gave me, you become the country leader for Fabriano. So I have
Wow.
become the uh, among India, I was the only person who was taking care of that thing. So every year I used to take people from here. So 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Till that I'm the leader and
Okay.
the country leader for them. And in the
So
meanwhile,
what do you do? What exactly do you do? You take people from here, meaning what is the
I
what
need to
happens?
check the talent hunt. I go
Okay.
to different places. I see people how they work. Sorry. See, mostly what happened, the metro people, they, uncle, auntie, they will catch hold of each other and they will go up. The problem
Right.
happens with the smaller rural package. Those they don't know how to, where to, how to. The place I was in initially in
Right.
2011, I was stretching my hand to someone will hold my hand, and that time no one. I must say, no
Oh,
one helped me. I did with my
okay.
strategy, my own thing. So that time I decided, if God will given me a chance tomorrow, if I grow a little bit, so this job will be my primary job, and
Okay.
that's what till date I'm doing. So I go to different cities, mostly smaller cities. I look for the talent, and I take them. So more than I think 50, 60 people already I have taken out of this
Wow.
to
Wonderful.
global market. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So what happens once you take these children there, and then do they do a course? Are they given work to do? What exactly
No.
happens?
See, it is like, these guys are, again, they are sitting in a cocoon. They are in a cocoon.
Right.
They don't know where to, they are producing good job, but they don't know whom to show, how to show, and what. See, painting, there are multiple subjects are there. Which subject? In India, still late, we have got a mindset, God, goddess,
Right.
Ram, Buddha, Shiva. Got stuck with that. But in the
Right.
world has gone much beyond that, much more than that. Now, how do you know? Unless until you see them.
Okay.
So I take them and I introduce with a senior, the masters of the different countries. And that's how, these guys are getting benefited. And later on, what happened, they mix up with each other. I mean, they took it, okay, next time, whenever, suppose
Okay.
from
Okay.
Barcelona, some exhibition happening. So they said, okay, please send me this guy.
Okay.
So that's how, yeah, that's very,
That's how it the saying.
yeah,
So Deepa has a question for you, Rajat, which is
yeah.
what made you choose watercolors as your medium?
It was, again, it's one of the toughest medium as far as the colors are concerned.
Okay.
In India, watercolor has born in Altamira in South America. There's a place called Altamira Cave. That was the first time people got to see the with the earth color. They salute with the water, and there are some cave paintings. And in India, Ajanta is there, Ajanta Cave.
Right.
So this is one of the toughest medium, and it's better to learn the tough thing first than the easier thing. So I said, okay,
Can you just expand on that, Rajat? Why is it tough as compared to, let's say, an oil painting or some of the other media which are there,
of course. See, watercolor, you don't have, if you do any mistake, there is no, you can't retrieve that.
or you can't
You have,
correct it? Okay.
you can't correct. You have to throw that. So that is, and today's day, if you buy a paper and the color, which will give you a severe pinch, for, it's a damage,
Okay.
healthy damage for your pocket. So you cannot waste. And but if you don't know the color treatment properly, you don't know how to handle them. So there the problem comes. So, but in the gouache, an acrylic, oil, any other medium, if you do some mistake, someone can rectify that mistake. But
Okay.
watercolor, you can't. So what my target was, if you do something really tough, but as compared to watercolor, these other mediums are really easy, really easy.
Right.
Yeah. So you can
Yeah.
automatically, you can do them. But once
Okay.
you know how to do the watercolor, and watercolor gave me a lot of exposure. Let me tell you, if a person like me coming up from such small city, and I'm not saying today I become a don or something like that, but well, I must say that God has given me
Yeah, you
enough.
have definitely. Yeah, you've come
Yeah,
a long way. So we
and
were discussing
so
this yesterday. So can you show some of your work,
yeah,
Rajat? Ravi's.
so
Yeah.
yeah, so like 2000, I think 12 onwards, there's an one of the world number one company color manufacturer that's called Daniel Smith. So I become the global brand ambassador for them.
Okay.
So yeah, so they produce earlier they used to make oil, but nowadays water soluble oil. But mostly they are into watercolor sticks and all the tubes, gouache. So and the owner of that this company is like John Oakley and Catherine. They are extremely good friend of mine. So so I do. In the meanwhile, I've recently done a project called. If you can see this, it's called Unseen to be
Yes.
Seen. Okay,
Okay.
this is a very you can see that how small is this book. So let me
Right.
just explain you because this is not a catalog. This is a book. So this
Okay.
is I have chosen 103 people from different part of the globe, and
Okay.
these master artists they used to make painting in such size 40 feet 40 inch by 80 inch. These are the size, those are the size they paint. But I
Right.
made them. I just insisted them. For me, you have to do a small painting on a 5 by 8 centimeter. So for them it so
You asked them to do
so
miniatures when they were used to massive canvases. Okay.
absolutely. And
Okay.
miniature in this watercolor, see, if you see the Mughal miniature, all these, those miniatures, there are multiple miniature job, you must have seen that. But
Right.
transparent watercolor miniature, I think I am the only one who can, I mean, I thought of and I just made them understand. So, and this is just got printed, this book got printed,
Wow.
and it has been launched from Barcelona, Spain.
Okay. Okay.
So this is one project just I finished. Another thing is like I don't waste paper. So whichever the small paper and the big paper, whichever, and I love miniature. Let me tell you. So this is something like this is a jewelry box. In fact, if you see that, it's the
Right.
ring box. So I just make use of all these things. So I just thought, let me just do the cover first. So I did the cover.
Right.
Then later on, I did some miniature.
Right. Wow.
So you must have seen
This
this
is
thing.
so bright. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
So yeah. So this is
Yeah.
this. I have a plan to send this. There are two of them. This is one, and this is another. Is the landscape. So this will go for an
Okay.
auction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Fascinating stuff.
so in the meanwhile, I've got
Really
two
beautiful.
good thing. Mostly what happened in from Bangladesh, I've got a lifetime achievement award. Mostly people take that award,
Fabulous.
wheelchair, but I went there walking. That is there. And from Australia, Melbourne, I've got a what do you call auction in my watercolor. So which
Wow.
normally it's a
Okay.
really
Okay.
commendable thing for me.
No, it's fascinating at so many levels because you have really not allowed anything to come in your way. You've acted on impulse, I think, even late in your life, which I think is one huge difference. So, again, do you
Yeah,
get inspired by nature with your art? What is your source of inspiration?
absolutely. I was certainly inspired by the nature, but the leap which I took from advertising in this in a later
Yeah,
career in the second
yeah,
innings, I should not
right.
encourage this thing to the others, people might get bounced because to get an exposure in this particular stream in art. See, tomorrow in the tree called art, we'll definitely come up with the fruits, but we do have really less tenacity. We in
Right.
today's life, today we are doing this thing. We need the reply immediately. It's like SMS, and this thing is
Right.
mobile phones. So there it is a little risky, but well, again, the Almighty has taken care of me. I must say, he's the main person.
But one of the things you have done is you haven't taken risks about things you didn't know anything about. You
I
knew
never
very
put my
clearly. I
knowledge.
think right in the
Yeah,
beginning, you told me this that the difference is that you, as an artist, knew what you could sell and you became the product. You said, which I think is a
absolutely,
realization that comes in only because you had this background in advertising. Now,
exactly.
that
Otherwise,
also allowed you to figure out which of these things would succeed and why is it that somebody would hire you. So, again, do your paintings sell more in India or abroad? What is it that how have you gone about the commercial aspect of your job now? Or is it that doing these workshops, helping identify a whole lot of people is your job right now? How do you see this?
so now there are multiple jobs which I'm doing simultaneously. It is like helping others to encourage them, showing them to the limelight. That is one. Of course, my own painting jobs are there, and I started teaching globally. I'm taking
Okay.
workshops, international workshops. So I go and teach there. From there, where the art has born, the France, Europe has given the birth of an art, and I go there to teach watercolor to them. It is little dicey, but well,
But how
they
long do these workshops last? Are they a week, 10 days? What kind of period do you
no,
take your students through?
no, it is 2 to 3 days. It depends on
Two to
multiple
three
workshops.
days a
Yeah,
workshop. Okay.
for
Okay.
workshops. Yeah, something like that.
One workshop is about
So,
2 to 3 days. And who
and
are your
it's a way,
students? They are locals from there?
of course, locals are there,
Okay. Okay. It's
and
amazing
it
how, like you said, it's like Coles to that you go to the birthplace of watercolor and you have grown up from Jamshedpur to Kolkata to Bombay to Delhi to Guwahati to Bangalore back to Delhi. It's amazing how you've managed to do so much, Rajat, because this is like a whole lot of people. And while you say you shouldn't take risks, your life has been all about taking risks which are about things that you know will succeed. So,
maybe initial days the way God had helped me, so that
right,
I shouldn't have taken for granted, like, but I mean till date he's taking care of me. Let me tell you. So otherwise, what happened? And there are a few things which I strongly believe. It's like learning from seniors. We do have a mindset like you have to learn from your seniors. It is not necessary from junior also. You have to learn a lot which
right,
you may not learn from the seniors. And I'm strongly believe I has got single letter alphabet, but we have got two. We have more
right.
power than I. So these are my fundamental learning, and I think let's if we go together, we can reach much faster. We can do better. And if I because I don't say that I me myself, but since today it is happening with me, I cannot say we, so I have to say I only. Otherwise, I
Right.
normally don't say I because I strongly
This
believe
is
we has got
this is
more powerful
absolutely
than I.
fascinating, Rajat. This one thing which I wanted to ask you: do
Please.
you advise students who are learning art today to practice physically rather than drawing with a stylus? Do you still believe it's necessary to go back to using us, understanding, using your fingers and understanding media, doing it by hand? Do you still think that's important?
It is. I'll give you a small example. Why do we eat with the fingers, although we can use fork and knife? but it
Right.
it gives you, because before putting the food in your mouth, your hand touches and you can taste. Same thing is happening over here.
Right.
Drawing is such an important thing for any medium, whether you do oil or acrylic, watercolor, any damn medium. But the drawing is the strength. But today's kiddos, those who are upcoming budding artists, they hate to do drawing. So there they get lacking. So I tell each and everybody, I'm very particular because I do all this joke and all this thing. But as far as teaching is concerned, I'm extremely serious. I get annoyed like anything. I yelled a lot because drawing is such thing. If you don't know, drawing is one thing. You can open all the locks. That's the only thing. That's the key. You can. It will open
Okay.
all the locks. If you don't know drawing,
Right.
however rich you could be, however the best color, best paper, it everything will go down. Everything will go down. Your
It's such a marvelous thing, Rajat, because I think over this journey we've spent an hour talking, and I don't think I've even begun to scratch the surface, because just going into what you did, how did you get back to Europe, what were your stories there? I hope this session would have given people an understanding of what it means to be committed to art and to figure out
Yes,
your way and to take risks, but never forget that your talent comes from your own ability and being able to improve that ability. You've been drawing for how many years now? I mean, is it 30 years, 40 years now?
50 plus. Till date,
50
I'm doing
plus
that.
years.
I know.
And the results
In
are there to
today,
be seen.
yeah, it is. It is. In today's, like, digital art is there, all these things. But I would love to do with a pencil, the simple, the old method.
Right.
All Ajanta pencil and a paper, because it gives me because this is the strength. That's what I'm saying. I tell these upcoming budding artists, if you want to succeed, this is the strength, because this is the one key. It will open all the
Right.
locks. But if you
And
don't know
that's where it
the drawing,
starts. Yeah. And
it
that's
has
where it starts.
it has.
Yeah. Amazing. So, any closing thoughts, Rajat? Anything that you would like to leave listeners with and tell them, if they're looking at a career in art, one thing which you've underlined repeatedly is start with actual drawing, pen or pencil to paper.
Yeah,
Everything else is secondary.
absolutely. That is
Ah,
the first thing, and second thing is, is art is like the vegetable cutting knife. If you keep it
okay.
for 3 days, again you have to
Sharpen it.
stop that, and again. So for 2 days, if you so you have to practice a lot, and do not
Right.
take such hasty decision. But someone has to take a risk in our life, in the
Right.
beginning or in the last, anyway, any which way. So
Right.
that's all. And my only
Marvelous.
thing is, people should accept me. I mean, they should not kill me next time. You say, bash him properly. He's the
No,
guy.
when you speak the truth, Rajat, that is the.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. It's been a
it's my
fascinating
pleasure.
career journey. It's
Same
been,
here.
and it's so wonderful to hear of how you've transitioned through so many cultures, cities, professions, and finally
Absolutely.
you're still doing at this
Uh,
age what you love the most and spreading joy, spreading the art, spreading the talent. More power to you, Rajat, and thank you for coming on a show. I think you really graced the show, and thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
being on.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thanks.
Thank you, Rajat. That was Rajat Subhra Bandopadhyay. What a lovely life. A life spent in art, contributing to it, learning from it uh, across the world. And I so hope some of you will take inspiration from what Rajat has done and find your own career path. Next week, we'll be back with another journey, another career. And this is how we've started this 53rd episode. And we'd love to keep bringing you new episodes every week. Thank you, as always, for listening.